as we are all aware, lawyers are a fundamental part of the justice system. We essentially deal with the judges, with the court system. We also deal with our clients and other authorities. Within this process, there's a lot that lawyers can do, but also we identify a separate problem, that is loss delay, which we commonly talk about now. Today we are going to discuss whether lawyers have a role to play in loss delay and whether there is anything lawyers can do to actually reduce loss delay. We have a very eminent figure in the legal profession joining us today. President's Counsel, Mr. Ali Sabri, former Minister of Justice and also former Minister of Foreign Affairs. He will be giving his insights onto this topic. So firstly, as a lawyer, what should be your objective in terms of conducting a consultation?
In having a consultation, the first thing is to identify the real issue your client probably will have, and then see whether there are remedies, and actually if there are a remedy which is other than going to courts, and to resolve it if possible, and then give him the proper advice.
So, in terms of discussing about loss delay, we all know and we all admit that lawyers do take certain postponements or ask for different dates. So, do you think things like this that we do have a bearing on loss delay?
Yeah, obviously. I think lawyers are also contributing to the loss delays. We all know every day we see that in courts. But you can't only put the blame on the lawyers alone. Recently, I wrote an article. I encourage you to read it in the latest Judges Journal. As a Justice Minister, I have gone through this very carefully, and my passion, I got into politics because I was so moved by these loss delays, senseless loss delays. So there are so many things we need to do. The executive must put a lot of money into it. You have to invest like any other thing. Secondly, the legislature has to bring the latest laws into the country. Thirdly, we must embrace the technology. Fourthly, judiciary on its own can do so many things differently. And fifthly, lawyers have to play their part by embracing the technology, by using the latest techniques, and also assist the court in order to find the right solution. So yes, fortunately or unfortunately, lawyers do play a role in the loss delays. I think it's time that we understand this. It doesn't help anyone. So basically, there is this wrong notion. Sometimes lawyers feel that if the cases get settled too soon, it will be counterproductive. If that is the case, law profession should have been bad in other countries, but they are doing fabulously well. The more you do well and efficiently conclude your cases, people will have more faith in the system, and more people will start coming into litigation. Today, or in other matters also, today what happened is only as a last resort people go to courts. They are discouraged. It takes such a long period of time. So therefore, I think, yes, we all have a collective responsibility to tackle this menace.
Sir, can we also mention a bit about any other approaches lawyers could take in terms of giving solutions to their clients and also reducing loss delay?
Yeah, I think there are many things. First of all, we must also explain to them the actual situation of their cases, how strong their case, how weak their case, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and then look at the possibility of settling it outside the courthouse, if possible. And then, of course, now many parts of the world, recently I had a discussion with the Bar Association delegation from India about something called how India had embraced the mediation very effectively, because arbitration had not worked well, both India and in Sri Lanka, because that also had now contributed to the delays. It had become a part of an extension of the court system. So therefore, there are other alternatives like mediation, but arbitration, and finally, only probably if you can't, you must go to courts and all those things. So lawyers, by being honest to their clients, by telling them the truth, probably persuade them to settle most of the cases. But of course, you must charge your fee for that. Otherwise, lawyers can't exist. It must come at a cost, but then it not to be end up in courts. So try all avenues before going to courts. And as a final resort, go to courts is my advice to young and budding lawyers. And senior lawyers, of course, know what they want to do, and I don't think they are not interested in listening to me.
In a conclusive note, sir, we know that laws delay is not just a problem that lawyers create. Obviously, it's a bigger systemic issue where different parties contribute to it. Which aspects of this problem do you think is within the control of the legal fraternity, lawyers specifically?
Three areas basically I see. One is do what is in your control, because one important thing is there are things which you can control, there are things you can't control. There are many things you can control. One is just take up cases what you could handle, and then be present in courts or send your junior. Don't ask for postponement. File your papers on time. So those are within your control. Yes. Then when the technology introduced, maybe online hearing, online filing, don't resist that. Go along with that. All the other countries have done that. So important that. And thirdly, continue to upgrade your knowledge. Continue to upgrade your knowledge, learn more, because from the beginning to the end, you have to continue to upgrade yourself. So if you do that, you will reduce making those mistakes, because you know what is the current law. So that will prevent you from appealing, senselessly appealing everywhere. So in a nutshell, what lawyers should do is to control what is within your control. And if you do that part, at least you have done your part.
Yes.
But that's not going to eliminate the law still, as I told. New laws need to come in. Most of investment must put in. We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough courthouses. We have not embraced the technology and introduced the technology into the system. That has to come from the government. Then probably Supreme Court can introduce practice guideline, like in UK. How many minutes of submission, skeleton submissions. So that's something which could come by way of practice guideline or rules, amendments of rules from the Supreme Court probably. And then lawyers have a role to play in our part. So when all these things fall in line, it has to be a macro program, everybody controlled, but lawyers must do their part without finding and waiting till the others do their part.
Of course, sir. With that, we come to the end of this conversation. I'm sure we have brought forth several important aspects and points of view which we as lawyers could start considering in our practice. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ganguli, for having me. Thank you.